Hello, I'm Judy Stiles. Thank you for joining us today on Newsmakers. Our focus today is on a program announced towards the end of 2016. It's called Vision Joplin 2022. Looking forward to the future of Joplin. Joining me, we have two guests today, Clifford, Wert, and Brent Baker. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're both very actively involved in this group. People may have read about it or seen stories, but we probably need to start out, Clifford, with a definition. If somebody walks up to you on the street and says, "What's this Vision Joplin 2022?" How do you explain that?
It is a private, citizen-driven effort to bring forth specific recommendations to our Joplin City Council and ultimately to the citizens of Joplin with, again, recommendations that will look to propelling Joplin's growth from the years or from May of 2017 to May of 2022.
So it's kind of the dreams and the goals for the next 5 years in the city.
It is, yes, exactly. What can we do to help our city and to come alongside our elected city officials and our hired city personnel and staff to bring ideas and recommendations that will propel the city of Joplin's growth into the future in that 2017 to 2022 time period.
Now, Brent, some people might be wondering 5 years. Why that type of time frame?
Well, something that is tangible, something that people can get behind pretty quickly, seems to be something that's well received and works well on, and it's on the backs of a good 5-year period we've just had, which is 2011 to 2016. So it seems to work really well with going forward with a shorter time frame.
Well, I know in years past, Joplin has had different visioning sessions at different times. So this private industry, the community, citizens said it's time to start looking to the next 5 years, basically.
That's exactly right. Joplin has made tremendous progress, absolutely outstanding progress. And citizens were saying, hey, with expectancy here, what's next? What can we look forward to? And so we are leading a group of citizens that have come together now, and it's a joy to see their passion and their interest and their desire to inject themselves and engage themselves into this visioning process.
So you have a planning committee or a main core group, I guess you call it, of people who are kind of shepherding getting this started.
Yes, that's correct. We have 19 community members who have formulated this effort, and we have representatives from the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce, from Missouri Southern State University, from the Joplin School District, and then individuals, whether they are business leaders, whether they're private citizens, where they have a passion because they either live, work, and or play in the city of Joplin, and they want to see the city to move forward.
Joplin means a lot to them. So
exactly.
Brent, tell me about your background, your interest in being part of this group.
So first off, working at Empire, we're always interested in the growth of our communities that we serve, and Joplin being our headquarters definitely is an area we've been interested in, economic development and overall amenity growth. As we've looked to the past and things that have been great, we want to continue to influence that. Also, my involvement with the Young Professionals Network at the Chamber of Commerce, we're interested in always finding that next thing that helps us keep the young professionals in Joplin and entices more and more to come to the area. So
you mentioned young professionals. I know I've had a chance to visit with some people from the organization and involvement. So you're really planning the future for those people who will be leading the city in the future.
That's right, yeah. The future leaders are actually having an opportunity right now to be involved pretty heavily in this process, and have been invited to every one of the committees along with all of the citizens of Joplin. But the Young Professionals group definitely is very interested in being involved in setting that path forward.
So Clifford, you have the young professionals. You also have people who have a lot of history in Joplin who have seen the growth throughout the years as well.
Oh, most definitely. I have literally been in this community my entire life and educated entirely from kindergarten through this university, and a banking career of nearly 40 years in this community. And it's those types of passionate backgrounds that have come together to bring forth their ideas, but to also make sure that we do have a committee group of different ages and of different backgrounds and demographics, so that people can really speak into this process and as Brent said, really engage that next generation to be the leaders that we want and need them to be.
Come up with the dreams, help us make those dreams a reality in the future.
Exactly.
Oh, I know you've broken it down to 6 key topic areas. So for the
Correct.
audience, let's explain, you have a massive project, how the future, how do you break it down into what are the main focus areas?
Well, the core team really looked at what really can drive our future and what are the areas that are of keen interest. And so we have 6 key topics that have been developed in equal order. They're all of equal importance. Okay, education is described as a committed focus on literacy readiness. Governance, a long-term, efficient, and effective city. Healthy living / wellness. We want a healthy place to live. Job growth, a vibrant economy with a thriving workforce. Positive marketing. We want to show community pride and show Joplin in a positive light. And then the last one is quality of life and access to cultural and leisure time activities.
Right. So those 6 key areas, and they have some pretty broad statements, so that leaves up a lot of possibilities. I mean, they're looking at job growth, which I understand you're involved with, vibrant economy, thriving workforce. Those are great things to strive for. How do you break those down then as you start exploring the possibilities?
So as we've started to explore, we've seen several different places that this is being focused on already in the community, and we think a lot of it aligns already with how we go to the future. But a workforce that's capable is something that's been focused on for a while. So how do we maintain that and continue to grow from within, from this area, and also attract those to come to our area to work? Additionally, make sure with that workforce here that we have good jobs to continue to work at. So that economic development effort that has been in the past, that we want to continue to influence and possibly look for new ways to have jobs in this community that we would all be excited to work at and have opportunities that continue to stay here and grow that talent from within and recruit.
I see some of these almost overlapping, that to have good jobs, you have the education tying into it. There's a lot of things that tie together.
Absolutely. We have these committee meetings, one committee is met in December and others are starting in January, and will continue to meet in January and February. And there's no doubt that there will be a great amount of intertwining and perhaps topics that will come up in one. We'll need to say time out. We have a specific committee.
They can handle that side of the issue.
Right. And another thing that's really, really great, Julie, is the fact that at this point in time, and we fully expect more to join, but we have nearly 60 different community private citizen individuals who are involved in volunteering their time and are already signed up, and many of those have signed up to be into more than just one committee. There are several that have even signed up to be involved in as many as 4 of the committees. So it's great to see this interest and the citizenry coming together to what I call to be a part of the quarterback team versus that armchair quarterback, and to really engage themselves and to have an active voice into the process.
So this brings us up to the citizen involvement aspect. Is really, right now you are at that stage of we're encouraging people to get involved.
That's right. Yeah, and I think on every committee this has been going on as we invite people to meetings, but it's open to come to the meetings. We've set out several invitations, and for the meetings that are still yet to happen, people are welcome to come. And if the first meeting has happened, we want to make sure people know they can still show up and still submit information on the website, and make sure always we want all of the involvement from the community that we can get. So
you're looking across the board involvement. You don't have to be a owner of a company or a named person. John Q. Public, I guess, is always
absolutely. If you live, work, and/or play in Joplin and have a passion for its future, bring your voice forward. Become engaged in this, and listen to ideas from others that might spur your own or lead you to maybe even reconsider your own ideas. But it's a great opportunity for these people to engage. And another aspect, Julie, is that every committee meeting will post their minutes on the website within 3 business days of their meeting date. So if any interested party goes to the website and reads those minutes and decides, that really sparks my interest. Come and join. Or the other aspect is on that website, any person, they will be asked to identify themselves, but they have the opportunity to write their narrative comments so that we can see those and committee members can read those and have that input into the committee discussion as well.
Now, you mentioned the website, and the website itself is through the City of Joplin's website, as people are looking for that link, right?
That is correct. joplinmo.org slash Vision Joplin. And, it's a service of the city. The city is not endorsing or directly advocating. They are providing a service to the citizenry.
So they're providing the web service for you to be able to have this gathering information.
Exactly. And ultimately, the goal is to make those recommendations to the city council, and it'll be their decision as to where they take that.
Now, Brent, for how people visualize what a committee meeting would be like, if they show up and, is there a structure, an agenda? How do you handle potentially a lot of suggestions coming in?
So I do think there's a possibility that some of the committee meetings will be a little different from each other, but in general, the idea is to have an open forum and gather thoughts from everybody in there and giving everybody an opportunity to do that. And from the job growth group, we actually have done one other meeting kind of like this in a young professionals group that worked really well, and it was kind of a collaborative meeting in a less formal setting, so that people could sit together in tables and
more of a discussion versus a formal
smaller group discussions within that group that bubbled up to some ideas for everybody to consider. So there's a lot of people with interesting ideas on how to make this work well, and we think we have some of the good minds that are a part of this that are helping us develop a very collaborative and open session in each one of these meetings.
So all ideas are welcome, even if somebody thinks, my idea is a little off the wall, do I bring it there?
Absolutely, and the word transparency, we are posting our minutes, we have open meetings, we understand, and in existing meetings, media is present, and that's fine. This is an open gathering for people to come and to speak, and for the transparency of the posted minutes, so that there is that opportunity to be involved, but in a very open environment.
So at any time, people can hear what's being said, they can look at the minutes, they know it's nothing hidden behind closed doors type of thing.
Right.
Exactly, that is correct.
So encouraging citizen participation, you mentioned comments on the internet through the website. Are there any plans for surveys or other ways to reach out to the community along those lines?
We do have a Facebook page that one of our core committee members, Andrew Jordan, has put together for us, so that means of communication is open. It'll be up to each one of the committees to decide how they wish to go forth and gather their information and to come back ultimately to the core team with their thoughts that gets put together into a report submitted to the City Council.
So each committee, each team has a chairperson or a couple of chair people who are helping coordinate all of that.
That is correct. That is correct. Out of the core team, 2 to 3 core team members have volunteered to be the leaders of one of those 6 committees,
right,
and take the minutes and get the meeting announcements out. And again, on that website, there is, up in the upper right-hand corner, it's called Calendar in Brief. And so you can go to there and you can see every meeting scheduled date, click on that. It'll give you the exact date and time and location, so you can come and participate.
So as we're recording this program in early January, even late January, people tuning in can say, maybe I missed the first meeting, I can go there and find out when the next one's going to be for those committees.
That's correct, yeah. We want to make sure, anytime along the way, if somebody has just learned of this and wants to voice their opinion and offer up some good suggestions, they're welcome to do that.
So how many committee meetings do you anticipate? What's the process? How long is it? You mentioned you want to try to have things by April. How long is it going to need?
That's a goal. It's up to each committee to decide how often they would like to meet. We in the governance committee are meeting every other week. Others might choose to meet weekly or monthly, or however they choose to make themselves effective. But 2 points. Number one is our goal is to make this in a short, concise time period, so people who are volunteering their very precious time are not feeling that they're signing up for eternity.
Right.
You know, we want them to know this is a very short, concise effort, and our goal is to bring forth a recommendation. We've said in the spring of 2017, but specifically would like to do that in April of 2017 so that we are in that May of 17 to May of 22 time period. But if we have to take a little longer, we'll take the right amount of time necessary to bring good, specific, actionable, measurable, bold, and growth recommendations for our community.
So the challenge is not only having ideas, but as you say, be able to measure them, to be able to have set goals and accomplishment timetables. And tying things
The
together.
interesting thing is in most of these committees, you have some people that have that experience in their own professional life or their own personal life, that they've got some good experience of having measurable goals and having attained some of those. So the leaders, I think, have been selected and are leading this in a way that we're going to make sure we have some great targets that are measurable in the end of this, which will mean the most to the citizens after that time period of 2022 coming to pass, and to see that we've actually moved the needle.
So 5 years from now, you want to be able to look back and say, we remember discussing this, now this is a reality, it's happened.
Right.
Exactly, and not a long, wide laundry list. Let's bring some real specific recommendations, that can really have the potential of being achieved in that 5-year time period. And it will be up to the Joplin City Council for them to hear these recommendations and then decide, do we investigate, do we adopt, do we move forward, do we press pause, or do we say, no, that's not for our agenda at this time. It will be the City Council's decision as to how
Where
we
they go
move forward.
So the elected
Exactly.
city officials will be in charge of the prioritizing how we are going to order and go to the future and carry
Right.
this through. So it's really a collaborative work with the citizens working with the elected officials. Once you finish, it's the elected officials then who have the task of, here's what people would like, how do we make it happen?
Right.
Exactly. That's their elected duty, and we're bringing recommendations.
Well, I also understand that there's a role with Missouri Southern. Some students at Missouri Southern are helping in another aspect of this project. I think the audience might be curious in hearing.
Absolutely. We are thrilled by the involvement of Missouri Southern State University with 2 of our international students. And they are accounting majors. And what one of our business men in our group said is that they actively evaluate their company by comparing themselves to X number of other companies in their same industry that they believe are leading people in that industry.
So you get a scale of comparison.
Right, so why not let's do that in our efforts of Vision Joplin 2022. So the core team has selected 3 communities to do a financial comparative study of the annual audited financial statements of Joplin,
Right.
and then St. George, Utah, Sioux City, Iowa, and Bowling Green, Kentucky. All of these communities are identified as very progressive, fast-growing, metropolitan statistical areas. All 3 of us, all 3 of them and Joplin, we're all located on interstates. We are located in with either an adjoining state or multiple adjoining
Close to the
states.
state line.
And so there's a lot of similarities demographically, but what can we, through the comparative study that these 3 or that these 2 university students are going to do, what can we glean from that process as to what are their resources and how do they take in their funding, and then how do they expend that funding that has propelled their communities to be identified as fast-growing, progressive communities in their areas, and what could we learn from that?
So from a business standpoint, it sounds like this really ties into the plan part. It's going to cost money to do things. So how are the successful communities utilizing their money or their resources to do those things?
And that'll be the interesting piece of the study, is figuring out just how that has been done successfully before, and to make sure we put the right pieces together to make this successful as we go forward.
Do you anticipate the students coming up with some things that maybe hadn't been considered in Joplin before? People do things differently in other communities.
Absolutely. And, what are the priorities as you think about as a percent of revenue, their expenditures, and what are they really emphasizing then to their community and therefore to the people they're trying to attract to their community, to get them to live and work and or play in their community. And so what can we learn and what can we always think about doing better?
And we use the bringing people to community and growth as seems to be a common theme, that Joplin is a community that doesn't want to stay where it's at in 2016. You want it to be different, growing in a number of different ways in 2022.
That's right. Yeah, I think every one of the initiatives talks about growth, really, and job growth, of course, being one that a lot of people are focused on. But everything from education to amenities, quality of life, all of that growing to the positive is. I think everybody knows their friends around here have been talking for a long time about improving the community we're in, and are interested in the growth in every one of the areas.
Right. So the ideas you're gathering and generating are going to be put into a report, as you mentioned, to go given to the City Council. Will there be a presentation at, say, a City Council meeting where the public will be able to watch as well?
Absolutely. This will be all presented in an open, on the agenda City Council meeting. In fact, we will also be going to the City Council work sessions on the second Monday in January, on January 9th, and also the second Monday in March, which date the second Monday. And we will be updating the council so that they can know where we're at, update on the number of citizens involved, and just we want to keep that channel of communication going so that they are not caught off guard, so to speak, that they have the some information and some advance indication of just what the citizenry are bringing forth in these various committee meetings.
So the council is, at this point, listening as well as the rest of the citizens listening. And for people's clarification, this is not like a council-appointed group or committee. It's formed independently of the city saying, let's get some people together.
Correct. Yeah, I think this really bubbled up on its own of people in the community who have been talking about this really leading up through 2016, knowing that we had had such great success in the last 5 years. And the conversation really gathered around in different groups. I know I heard it in different places from different people. And what is next? What are we going to do? And I think that organically developed and began with some organization after that. So no council.
No official city decision saying we need to get a group of people together. It's let's get these people saying we're going to get
really
together.
Appreciate you bringing that point up, because it really does demonstrate that Joplin citizens are interested in Joplin's future. And they want to have an opportunity to bring that interest forward to the elected officials. So it's a win-win. It really is, Julie.
Getting people involved. So at this point, we're looking at the citizen input. People may have tuned in a little bit late. If they go to the website, they can get the information about when the meetings are going to be held. If they can't get to the meetings, they can still provide input and suggestions.
Absolutely. www.joplinmo.org/Vision Joplin, and every committee meeting is there. The calendar is there. Will continue to be updated. Minutes of every meeting will be posted. Opportunity for people to voice their written comments if they're unable to attend the meetings. So it's a fully open, transparent process.
So starting off the first of the year and even starting off before the holidays, do you feel that things may have started maybe hustle, bustle, the holidays a little slow? Do you expect to increase now that the word's getting out and the year's underway?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're really hitting the ground running right after the new year. And actually a lot of people were still doing quite a bit of heavy lifting before the end of the last, end of the year, in 2016. But yeah, we've seen a lot of traction now. Meetings are starting to happen here, this week and next. So I think everybody's ready to go and ready to get this moving.
And of course, we're recording at Missouri Southern State University. We have students. You're seeking input from everybody, citizens. What about the college students, their interest in the community of the future?
Oh, we would definitely welcome that and ask them to become involved. And particularly, we would welcome those students who are coming here, and as they perhaps go through their educational process, they realize what a great community this is, and they want to stay.
Stay in Joplin.
And they want to make this their home, and they want to make this their place of work and play, and they want to improve what we have now and make it more attractive to young people of their age as well, and to what is their future. So, we want to see Joplin grow. We want to see it grow in population. We want to see it grow in amenities. We want to see it grow in offerings that it brings to its citizenry. And so, please join us.
So the young, I say young college age, but those students who are in college now will be in the workforce. You're working with in the workforce in 5 years.
That's correct. Yeah, and that's been an effort for a while for a lot of different people in the community. Is how do you continue to build that workforce and get in touch with, from college students to high school students, and get them engaged in our community and help us build a brighter future. And there's a lot of people with a lot of ideas.
Right.
This is that opportunity to really voice those ideas and keep us moving in the right direction.
So you never know what the dreams are of the younger generation as well as
That's right, Julie.
tying them together. So what are you both enjoying the most about this process? I know, Clifford, you've been very involved in the community throughout the years, but this project in particular, being involved in this Vision 2022.
It is bringing the people together from all aspects and walks and backgrounds and interests, and they having the boldness to express their ideas and to invest their time and energy into this process. And I think that should be very encouraging to our elected officials, that people are genuinely interested in the future of this community.
How about you, your perspective?
For me, I've been excited about seeing the pride in our community continue to grow. And when we put the first message out about this, my name was on that list as somebody who could receive emails or communication about getting involved. And I had plenty of people that reached out to me to get involved, and I'm excited to see the pride that people already have and to see how we can build even more in the future. So that to me excites me. I like the unity that we have as a community, really wanting to work together, and how many people have shown interest. So that to me, probably different from some of the other groups that have been on, to see this kind of collaboration from all different areas of our community. Yeah.
And of course, we're saying Joplin 2022, our viewership goes throughout the region, so maybe somebody doesn't live in the city of Joplin, but they may work here, or they have obviously an interest living in this region. You welcome their input as well?
Oh, absolutely. We have committee members who have already signed up. I myself, I live in Webb City, but Joplin.
You don't have to be a Joplin resident.
You don't. Yeah, I know of Carl Junction citizens. Others that live in surrounding communities, villages. Absolutely. Again, if you live, work, and/or play in Joplin, and you're passionate about what Joplin's future is looking for and towards, please come and be a part.
So really, we're talking about a regional effort.
That's right. And I think for a while we've been calling it the Joplin region. I don't know how often that's been coined, but oftentimes people talk about the region and Joplin as a region.
Right.
And really, we all know what we're talking about here. We really think that if the Joplin region grows, we're all going to be successful, no matter what.
Now, which city line you live on.
That's right. Most of us have a close connection to each one of the communities around us, and seeing this area grow all together is a great thing.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, Clifford, before we run out of time, let's remind people of the website, if they tuned in, where they can find it.
Absolutely. Again, it is hosted by the City of Joplin. It's joplinmo.org/Vision Joplin.
Okay. And from there, you can get information about the different committees, the different meeting times, everything you need to know, as well as provide the input.
Absolutely. And we welcome everyone to join.
Great. Well, Clifford and Brent, I'd like to thank you both for being here today on Newsmakers and providing information. Look forward to following up in April, see how kind of recommendations you come up with.
Thank you, Julie.
You're welcome. Thank you for being
much
here. And I'd like to thank our viewers for being here today. I'm Judy Stiles. I hope you can join us next week for Newsmakers at the same time on this station. We'll see you then.